till I'm dead and buried deep within a cemetery. I will fight, never weary, I wanna be legendary.
Everybody, and welcome to another episode of Legends of the Jumper Punch. We have one of the biggest legends of the Coen Football Club, Mr. Jim or Jimmy Buckley. How are you, mate? How's things?
Rocco, thank you for the invite.
No drama.
Jimmy,
Mr. Lonchizano, one of the heads of the mafia.
Yeah, exactly right, mate. We've got the big boys hanging around here.
Yeah, they call me Big Vincenzo.
They bulletproof windows.
Yeah, we've got the bulletproof. We came in the bulletproof car. Don't you worry about that, mate.
Don't worry, the bodyguards are just outside.
Yeah.
Great, they're really fantastic that you could join us for this, and we've been looking forward to this.
Yes, Vince, it's a segment that I've listened to, and a lot of the colleagues have done it, and it's very important. It's very important to get that signal out there to everyone that it's not tolerated, and this is a good way of doing it. It's a good show, and I'm looking forward to having an hour's banter with you guys.
Yeah, we're definitely going to have an hour's banter.
We're looking forward to it, mate.
Yeah, so we usually get the best. That's why we've got the triple premiership player.
What took you so long?
well, that's true. You got me there. That's why we took you so long.
You were very close to joining that exclusive group.
Yes.
David Glascott, Kenny Hunter and Wayne Johnston in playing 81, 82 and 87. Now you were in
79.
the squad. Now you played 79, of course. Then Johnson played 79.
Yeah, Jono got 4.
So he got 4.
Yeah.
You got 3, 79, 81, 82. How close were you from joining Jono in the 87 team? Because you captained the reserves.
I captained the reserves in that. Yeah, Wolsey and I weren't seeing eye to eye. Either was Wayne Harms, and in that stage there was a bit of a ruffle at the club, and we weren't on the most favourite list with Robert Walls, and still to today he's not on our favourite list either. So I never got I should have been in. I tell you now, I should have been in and played in 4. Yeah. But relegated to the reserves, and we come from 1,000,000% to get in on that day, that last day, and I wanted to stay in Queensland for another 2 weeks. I was going to retire, type of thing. Yep. And Cole Kinnear convinced me to come back and play in the reserves. And Harmsy was very disappointed that I was named captain.
Yeah, he would be too.
And I said, "You've got to play under me now, Harmsy." I hope you're watching this, Harmsy.
Oh, don't worry, he'll be watching.
And we'll send you a special copy. But in saying that, we had a young side. We had Andrew Phillips, I think Fraser Murphy was playing. Fraser Brown was playing in that too, and a kid called Phil Porcellites, he's an Ice Creek bloke.
Phil Porcellites,
he go well in this restaurant today. Yeah. And he kicked 8 goals, which is in the reserves grand final, and it was about 34 degrees, and we won.
That's right.
And I'll tell you a story. We played the reserves. The reserve side played the seniors in a practice game on the Tuesday night, and won by about 5 goals. Because we weren't happy. Harmsy and I weren't happy about not getting a game. So Walls, if you're listening, you do hold grudges.
Well, we have had Wallsy on this show.
Yeah, do that.
But it was a long time ago now.
But it was a great thing for the club, the reserves and the seniors winning at the same time. And,
Who did you play in that game, 87?
We played St Kilda.
Did you?
As I said, we snuck in by 1,000,000%, and we went right through. I think we went out to win 6 games to get there. Yeah. And I said, we're going this far, Harmsy. And Harmsy's laying down at 3/4 time. We're just up, and he was puffing and panting. And I give him a swift kick in the guts, right? This is true. I said, give me something the last 10 minutes, Harmsy. And I said, one of the most amazing things I've ever seen on a football field. He came off the half-back flank, got the ball, one of the St Kilda guys got his finger caught in his jumper. He dragged him through the centre, didn't even know he was towing him. Like a piece of cheese on dragged him down and kicked a goal from 65 out. He said, does that help? Does that help? And that was the momentum that's got us going the last quarter. We just went away and won.
Yeah. I thought you were going to tell me that he kicked the ball off the side of his boot and he tapped it back in from the boundary line.
It went through sky high.
Yeah,
he was a superstar, Wayne.
He could kick a ball. pound for pound, I keep saying this, I've said this a million times, pound for pound, Harmsy could have been one of the best footballers to play the game, man.
Well, he was.
Revolutionised the game, and he could mark, kick, run, take off with the ball. Like, he was amazing at the time. It's not about Harmsy, this one, but anyway.
The one thing I admired most about Harmsy was he was always able to land on his feet.
Yeah.
He never really fell over a lot, did he? He was beautifully balanced when he took a big high mark. He'd land on his feet and keep running.
Well, his calves are about 20 inches wide, but they're big as John Nichols' thighs.
Yeah.
But one of the great players and one of the most spectacular players, and take me hat off to you, Harmsy, when you listen to this.
No, he's a star. He was a star. Hey, listen, everyone said this a million times. You are, I think, equal with someone else, but you are the youngest player to play for the Carlton Football Club. You were 16, 6 months and so many days, I can't remember.
18 days.
You know, 18 days, there you go. 18
basically
days.
16 and a half you were.
So you were what, year 10 at school, were you?
Year 11.
Year 11?
I don't know, I didn't go much. I was in year 11, and I resigned.
Did you go much further than that?
I resigned.
You resigned school, that's it, can't do it.
I had more books than I had kicks. I won more scholarships, and I said, to give them to some kid who needs it. I said, I'm going to play football.
Yeah, it worked out all right.
Yeah, look, the journey that I went on, and you know, with a club like, you know, we were zoned to, in those days, to Carlton, and I actually barracked for Richmond.
I know.
You know, for 6 months before I went down, I was Burke, Barrett, Clay, and all those guys, and one of my idols was Kevin Bartlett.
Yes.
12 months later, I wanted to kill him.
Yeah.
You know?
You actually...
Not kill him, not kill you, Kevin. Just
I think at one game you gave him a nice whipping too at one stage.
Yeah, he was a very good player, Kevin Bartlett. He was a superstar. You know, he was one of the best, you know.
When Jezza took over as senior coach, that you really came into your own. Do you remember back that far and how you became a member, a regular fixture of the team?
Yeah, it was hard because they, you know, you kept, when you first started off, and I was only very light. I was about 68 kilos. I wish I was now.
That's how much I have to lose.
I'm not far behind you. Anyway, the thing being was that, you know, it was hard to have consistent form, and there's a lot of, they had the reserves in those days also, which was one of the great aspects where you can put some older blokes back and teach the younger guys, which is very, very important. You know, like Barry Armstrong and those guys on their end of their career, and Trevor Keogh, and they come back and they taught you so much, and that was one of the real detractions of football. And you used to get another game in, go and watch the reserves. The reserves games are sometimes better than the seniors games, and you learnt that, but I often was fluctuating between having a good game and I wasn't consistent. That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
So to be a normal or part of the side, you had to be consistent.
Yeah.
And you had to. I took a couple of years to get my body right in enough, you know, physically way.
Yeah.
To build yourself up with that, to maintain and sustain that 18 games, 20 games a year.
Yeah.
Before that, I was playing 2 or 3 good games and having 2 or 3 bad games and going back to reserves. And
that's where you learnt your craft.
And you learnt your craft, but you know, you learn your craft when you're 14 or 15. You know, it's 12, 13, on your way up, you got to get that, you know, kicking left, right foot, you know, bang, all that stuff. But yeah, well, look, we had great mentors right round, and no anyone would go out of their way to help you. That's the thing about what we did. You know, we looked after each other. We had a wonderful network of guys together, and their partners, the girls. We go out every night after games and that directed back onto our bonding into the football.
Yeah.
Like, we'd kill for each other on the football field, and that showed in those years.
My word.
Definitely did, and you definitely, like, I've asked a few players this, so that bonding outside of the game was important. I know you're laughing because I'm sure it was some fun bonding there, but that definitely helped you on the field, yeah?
Oh, for sure. Look, we played it pretty hard, but we trained.
I was just going to say, you guys were known as the party boys, but your motto was that you trained hard, you played hard, and you partied hard.
Yeah. And we look that
you had to have that bit of relief, that bit of celebration after a game.
Sometimes we might have overdone it and cooked it a little bit, but 9 out of 10 times we were there. We're very professional, and oh well.
You're back at training.
We got to. I got a few fines and lates. And I wouldn't mind getting a backwell collar. I had about 80 grand fine sitting there.
So they used to fine you?
Yeah.
Was it a
club-induced fine?
No, but was it like a decent fine, or did it
in
hurt?
those days, hurt all right. Of course it did. You know, $5 grand. McClure and Perry got $5 grand each for not turning up to training one night.
Wow.
That's a lot of money back in those days.
Yeah,
it's a lot of money now.
Plus your tax on top, and that's about 8. We're only on it, probably only getting 20. So,
gee, that's huge. I didn't realise it was that much.
And
I heard Colo made a lot of money out of those fines. You sure he didn't pocket them himself?
The best one we did, I'll tell you a funny one, is we did a testimonial.
Yeah.
And you know, they'd done the Bruce Tool testimonial.
Yes.
And that didn't go on because Bruce didn't want to turn up.
That'd be right.
Another story.
That'd be right.
So they did one for Jono and I at the football club at Prince's Park up in the Heatley stand.
Yep.
It was chock-a-block. You couldn't get a ticket. You couldn't get in the place. It was everything was donated. I know the beer was donated because I donated from the brewery when I was working for Elliot.
You're working for CU.
When he was away, I was in charge. Anyway, so all this memorabilia was charged, and it was the greatest night ever seen. Big Jack was up there, and he was comparing in it. The money was going. I was thinking, geez, we're going to get a good quid here, John. This is going to be big. You know, everything was sold off the thing. You couldn't get another thing. I said, how much money are we going to get, John? Anyway, this went on for about 2 months, and we're waiting on the figures. And you go past Selena, who was Ian Collins' secretary and sort of accountant.
Yeah.
And it got, Selena, any figures come out yet? Not yet, Jimmy asked me. And I said, oh, yeah. John rang up and said, can you call Colo? He said, I'm not talking to him. And ask him how our money's going. I said, right, So, about 2.5 months.
Had you guys actually retired already by this stage?
No.
You hadn't played the last game yet? So what was this, 88, 89 or something?
Sometime, yeah, something like that.
Yeah, because you both finished up at the end of 1990.
Yeah, that's right. He got sacked and I resigned.
You resigned.
I got in early because I knew I was going to get sacked. But, so
this money,
I'm getting to me at the end of the day. It's getting to Jono. He's ringing up every 10 minutes. I said, oh, look, I'll go in. I said, Colo, how's that money going out? The testimony. He said, oh, the figures just come out.
Yeah.
No, Selena, I asked her, go on see Ian, I think he finished them. So I come back and said, yeah, I just finished it, Bucks. He said, you owe 1,000 and John owes 7. I said, what? Why? It's the only testimonial in the history of it that's ever ended up in the red.
In the red? What, they consumed too much beer and all that sort of thing?
I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened, but we got nothing.
Someone pocketed it. Someone pocketed all the money.
Some good times.
Yeah.
What about the footy? You actually, I think 79. You weren't playing about 4 rounds before the grand final.
No.
Is that correct?
Yeah. Well, I broke my neck in Fiji earlier that.
How'd you do that?
I think one of the Rovers pushed me in the pool.
You did too.
I think it was Alex Marquis. But only trouble was on a roof in Fiji.
You were only 19 in the 1979 grand final.
A lot of us were.
Yeah.
And I came back and played. I played 3 or 4 really good games, and Lofsy got me to play against Geelong in a preliminary final out there in the reserves, and we kicked 7-6, and I kicked 7-4.
Wow.
Some ridiculous thing like that. And what about 6-4? But I kicked the guts of the score, you know. He said, and he grabbed hold of me. When Lofsy grabbed hold, he said, come back with me and watch this other game. He said, you're going to be playing in the grand final next week. So I think Ashley missed out.
So you were brought into the team?
I was brought into the side,
Right.
Ashley
missed out on the team, didn't he?
Ashley missed out, didn't he?
Yeah, actually missed out, yeah.
But Jezza was the coach, and he was, Jezza's like a father to me, I love the bloke, and he's just his whole family. We're very, very close,
Yes.
His godfather to Dylan, and you won't get a better bloke in the world than Alex Jezza, their coach. Anyway, and his late wife Anne was like a mother to me, you know what I mean?
Well, he was coming to the end at that time. You were about 34, you were 19.
Yeah. In saying that, we trained, and everyone you ask will tell you that the training was the hardest they ever did.
It was uncompromising, wasn't it?
You
instilled a lot of discipline.
You didn't want to lose, I'm telling you. I think we lost 3 games, and
That's it. 3 games for the year.
We lost against Geelong one day. We came back, got off the ground at 9 o'clock. So we didn't want to lose again.
Down at Cardinia Park. It would have been a long bus ride back.
Is it true that premiership quarter, the third quarter, was all because you were too scared to train on the Tuesday? That's why.
Well, we didn't want to do that again. We didn't want to go through that.
You didn't want to leave it till the last quarter to do it, so might as well do it in the third quarter.
But that sort of come up, especially in the Heat League down at.
Yeah.
We'd all come in the back of the Heat League stand. It was unbelievable, the atmosphere, you know, just in Carlton and those
It was
days.
like a cauldron, wasn't it, around that Heat League stand?
Yeah, it was. It was unbelievable.
It must have lifted, the crowd must have lifted
dragged you through, yeah.
Well, they were great days, and you know, as you said, you're only in your late teens when you played your first premiership. Do you remember what it was like running out onto the ground that day?
That's the one.
What was the feeling like?
Yeah, well, look, it was. Well, you don't hear the crowd because you're so focused. You know, you can hear all the. You're in there and you're totally going through your routine, and everyone's got a bit of a different routine. And you're ready to go. You pound out. You don't hear that crowd because you're focused on everyone. You could run down the race or run playing the game. You'd see your mother in the front row, but you wouldn't notice them.
Yeah.
If you did, you weren't concentrating enough.
100%. Yes.
And you know, it was all about they jumped us by 38 points in 90.
They did.
They were up 38 points, and we kicked in the second quarter. We got back, and we actually hit the front. Like Harmsy sprayed one. Jezza was struggling on the day because he'd been injured, and he put himself back the back pocket. Harmsy went to the centre. And turned the game. Probably today, when I look back after the game, probably and Harmsy admits that he wasn't the best on the ground that day, but that act he did was just unsurpassed. You know, knocked that ball back. And he got all that money from Toyota, Harmsy. and I got nothing, and I knocked it onto you. You wouldn't have got it only for me.
Oh, yeah.
How many players have all claimed to have some sort of important role in that little play?
No, well, I can tell you, I did knock it onto him.
He did knock it onto him. He ran.
Did you see him run like stick after his own shocking
Well,
kick?
he's such a determined guy, and it was a shit kick.
He had to make up for it.
He shined it up there, but I didn't think he was ever going to get it.
Right.
But if anyone can get it, he got arms on him like him, and he belted it back to Kenny Sheldon.
Yeah.
And
he was smart enough to run down the field.
Everyone was just everyone's in disbelief.
Yeah.
You know, it was but I got some shots of that ball. It's in. It was in.
Yep.
Yeah.
But who cares? Anyway, we got the percentage.
That's right.
we got the cup.
You got the cup.
But you know that in saying that, the wonderful, because they were coming back again.
Yep.
They were coming back again, and they got that. They probably run over the top of us at the end.
Yep.
We're lucky that it was a fairly short quarter.
Yeah, thank goodness that siren went. Cause
Do you remember how you were feeling just before the siren went and as it went?
I was knackered, yeah. I was knackered. It was a very hard game. It was wet, hard, and we'd gone...
Boggy ground.
Yeah, and the momentum was coming their way. And they got a dicey free kick that Peter McConnell should have took the mark, but he did take the mark. And they played on, and Butch Edwards kicked that goal. They're 5 points down, and they were still coming. But when the siren went, the relief and then just
that's all it is, isn't it? It's the relief.
And you know, you go back down, you can see all your supporters, and it's just great for them. You know, that's what you're playing for. And it's a team game, but you play for all the guys like the boot starters, the new supporters, the people that go out in the rain, the hail, the shine every day of the week and work their butt off for nothing. We get the accolades and all that, but it's all the hard people behind that. You know, like the boot starters and that, you know.
Well, after that little dynasty, I'd probably call it, in the late 60s, early 70s, we won 68, 70 and 72. We'd had some lean years, hadn't we? I mean, we were never that far out of the finals during that 7-year period, but it must have felt like you'd broken a mini drought in 79.
Yeah. Well,
especially after all the troubles of coaching and all that sort of thing through 77, 78.
That stupid thing happened with George and Alex. And
Well, I was just going to ask you about that after the premiership. How did all that take place? Did you know that was coming? Or?
No, I didn't really want to get involved, you know, but you had to because you were at the club, and I remember we had the meeting down, and I didn't really understand what was going on.
You're only 19 or 20 year old.
Yeah, but you know, I was a well-educated 19.
All those little
you were used to going to annual general meetings at 19, were you?
Anyway, came in as a very surprise, and they never had anywhere near the numbers, and so we never seen who I really got on well, George Harris, and then Alex went to St Kilda, you know, and then we brought in Perth, who was a caretaker coach, and we finished up on top, but everyone was injured. Jono was stuck, Dooley was crook. About 5 blokes were crook, and I was carrying a leg. And we went in and went out straight sets.
They went out straight sets.
Now a lot of people say that was because Percy really didn't sort of know too much about coaching. But if you had had a healthy list, it might have been a different story at the end of 1980. You guys almost coached yourselves, didn't you?
Percy said. And he stuttered. He said, "If they had to give me Hunter and Bazasto, I would have won." Because 12 months later, Hunter and Bazasto were there.
Well, actually, not 12 months, maybe 12 weeks.
He said they had and a few pulled up on me. He said,
"Yeah, exactly right."
Well, he's not half wrong there. He
almost got into a punch-up with Tony Jewell there, didn't he?
No, he did.
In one of the finals.
Yeah, they're about 40 foot away from each other.
Yeah, they were throwing punches, but they were 40 feet apart.
That was a great sight to see when I saw that. That was fantastic.
Yeah. One of the iconic photos.
Yeah.
So anyway, at the end of 80, I guess, a bit of a disappointment, and along comes a bloke called David Parkin.
Yeah.
And he had a bit of a culture shock when he came to Carlton, didn't he?
Yeah.
Did he think he knew what the playing group was like? And
I think he had a little whisper, but he didn't believe it. It was. I'll never forget the first run we did up at Mount Macedon, and there was about 40 slabs of Carlton draft over there. He said, "What's that for?" He said, "Oh, that's for a drink when they finish running." I said, "For a drink?" He said, "Mate." Someone said, "That won't last an hour when they get back here." Anyway, look, David, to his credit, he was the one, I always say, to revolutionise football.
Yeah.
Right? He took it to the next level. The way he prepared, in retrospects, the feedback he gave to players, the more experienced look at it, the more...
He was analytical, wasn't he?
Analytical, fettered way he...
Did that help your football? When he used to give you, like some feedback every play.
You got
reports.
You got
reports.
You got a 3 or in retrospect they called him.
Oh, in retrospect, right? So
Mark did help Mark McClure because he couldn't read at the time, and Bruce Dool had to read it to him.
And Bruce Dool read it to him. Is that the only way you can get Bruce to talk? Show him something to say, read that.
And Sellers caught, he actually had a university degree, Sellers.
Oh, yeah.
He walked through it one day. He went to university. He walked through it. but we all read that, and we go down the pub and we'll go down and have a few, because you're on Monday night.
Norton's, yeah.
We go down to Norton's, what about this? What's he fucking read about? Poor.
Yeah. Didn't you all just look at the overall?
Didn't Chase?
Yeah. Yeah.
What did you get? He said, I got a very good. I got an ordinary. Well, you're out. But then we analyse ourselves,
Was it like a school report?
Yeah,
was it?
you analyse yourselves, get up there and watch 60.
I was just going to say, you guys kept each other honest, didn't you? I mean, Mark McClure was telling us in an interview we did with him last year you guys used to front each other on a Sunday morning and all have a bit of an honest heart-to-heart sort of bit of feedback amongst yourselves.
We'd go up to the room in our room on a Sunday and then have a look at this and put shit on each other.
Yeah.
But
it was all good.
It was all good. It was all feedback, and if you had to wear it, you had to wear it.
Yeah.
And that's where a lot of the best mateship and banter and all that sort of come from. We were hard on each other.
You were honest.
We were honest on each other.
And there's nothing more cutting than one of your own teammates telling you, isn't it?
But you should know yourself. If you're fair dinkum enough, you know how you played anyway. I can remember I've played games and I've got 3 votes and I knew it wasn't good enough. It when I say wasn't good enough, it wasn't the best game I could have played.
Yeah.
And but they were very good because they gave everyone a bit of drive.
Yeah.
And you don't want to let your teammates down too.
No, what it was about. We were, as Sellers said, we were hard on each other. It didn't matter Look at the blokes like the Rhodes Scholar. He held the ball too long that day. Well,
Mike Fitzpatrick.
He still hasn't let it down.
Actually, I was going to bring that game up because you were the player that kicked the goal that put us
5 points.
I think it was something like 25 or 26 points up.
Frank Marcazzani.
With about 7 minutes
celebrated
to go.
for about 8 minutes, I reckon. That's what.
I didn't want to celebrate. I didn't want to know. Frank, I couldn't.
Was it Frank Marcazzani lifted you up in the air? And
Frank picked me up, a beautiful bloke, Frank, and picked me up. I said, put me down, Frank. The game's not over. Yes, it is. Then it came Neil Danaher.
Mind you, that was a beautiful kick that you kicked from almost the centre of the ground that went through.
Yeah.
Down at the Lygon Street end. It was a beautiful goal.
Yeah.
But then, as you said, Mike Fitzpatrick held onto the ball a bit too long, and a bloke called Neil Danaher came along and kicked about 3 goals in time.
And we got beat.
But these days in that situation, they would just call play on.
But that Ian Robinson.
That were the rules back then.
That umpire didn't like Fitzy.
Ian Robinson
didn't like Fitzy. And anything you get on Fitzy.
He's not on Fitzy's Christmas card list then, is he?
No.
But anyway, Essendon, we couldn't beat Essendon back in the early 80s. We were winning premierships, but we couldn't beat them.
Well, the thing was Essendon couldn't get to us.
Yeah.
They could beat us, but they couldn't get to us in the final.
Yes, they could never reach the granny.
That was it. You know, lucky they didn't. They wouldn't have beat us anyway. We can go another level, you know.
In the finals,
we'll talk about another incident. We've always talked about this, but it's like in my childhood, when I was 12 at this time, and I watched this grand final.
I think I know what he's bringing up there.
Right. We were playing Richmond in the grand final.
82.
And then they got an invader onto the ground. Where were you? Did you get her phone number? Where were you at that stage there?
Helen D'Amico.
Oh, Helen, yeah. I was flat chat getting on the ground, let alone worry about Helen D'Amico. I'd had glandular fever for 6 weeks.
That's right.
And broke my thumb on Mickey Moldhouse's head in the second semi.
Yep.
So I was a very, very doubtful starter. But anyway,
you managed to convince them you were right to go.
I had to convince them, that I was right to go. So, But Helen D'Amico, I was worried about. Tracking her. She should have been worried too.
What about Dooley? He was trying to run away from her.
That was a shocking thing Richmond did.
Have you ever seen Dooley run up to the centre of the ground?
Have you seen that was a shocking thing Richmond did. Put the girl out on the Bruce Dooley, our number 1 player. Bruce, she turned up at a function there not long ago, Helen.
Yes.
She's still looking all right too.
Yeah.
She'd be mid 60s or something now, or early 60s.
Yeah.
What was she back then? About 7? Jono was telling you she was only 17.
She was only 17.
So she might be late 50s.
Dom would know.
Yeah.
I think he got her phone number.
Dom would know.
Wow, that's why the name the Dominator come about. That's what we heard. Yeah. But let's talk some serious stuff. In '82, just quietly, you won the BNF.
Well, Rocco's always said if you're good enough to win a best and fairest, that makes you a pretty good player. But to do it in a premiership year,
you got to be someone special. You had a few good years, but that year there, man, to win the BNF in a premiership year, man, that says a lot.
Yeah, it was a good year. Kenny Hunter come over in the first year in '81,
and he won it.
And Kenny won it. What a player he is, a superstar, and I never got a vote, I don't think. And McClure was yelling out, "You haven't got a vote." I said. Anyway, I said, not one vote. I'm pretty sure I didn't get one vote in 81. I didn't play that bad.
In 81?
Yeah, I didn't play that bad. Anyway, something happened. I said, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll win it next year. I think he gave me 200 to 1. He hasn't paid me. I didn't expect it.
Yeah, well...
But I thought, I led every award.
Yeah.
You did too.
Then I let every award I was putting. I was starting to build a boat shed, a car shed.
You should have won the Brown line.
Should have won the Brown line.
Then I got Roy Orbison because I didn't play the last 6 games or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And someone else
still won the BNF.
Someone else got up.
Still won the best and fairest, even though you missed the last few games. That just goes to show you how good you were in '82.
I did have a good year. Yeah.
And that was back to back, of course, with '81. Now you were one of those boys who would have gone up to Canberra at the invitation of the Prime Minister.
Yeah, I did. I went.
Can you tell us much about what happened there?
I went in '81. '82, I missed.
How soon after the grand final did you leave?
On the Monday.
like-
On the Monday. Then.
Really, that soon? 48 hours after the final?
Yeah, something like that.
Wow.
But 82.
You wouldn't have been sober, would you, by the time you
Might have been the
boarded
Monday.
the plane?
Might have been the Monday after.
The week after.
I think so.
But I know in '82 I didn't get there because
Oh, really?
I was at Dunedin's having lunch with a couple of mates and I was having quite a drink. I was having quite a large drink and a large meal and got to 5 o'clock and I was going to miss the airport. Shit.
Really?
I was going to miss the plane, so I said, oh, well, I'll stay here.
So you didn't make it?
Didn't make it, but I remember they said that Malcolm Fraser got up and said, oh, I'd like to thank Jim Buckley on congratulating him on winning the best and fairest.
You were there.
They said he's not here, he's posted you. My nickname was the postman. He's posted you. But I still got blamed for pinching the cutlery and I wasn't even there.
You weren't even there.
Oh, did you?
That Ross Stevenson.
Your reputation precedes you.
Ross Stevenson said on 3AW one day, well, Jimmy Buckley was he was one of the culprits.
Really?
I had to ring him up and say, Ross, I wasn't even there.
Well, Harmsy's admitted.
Armsy, Alex.
Yeah, Harmsy's admitted on the show.
Did you ever get to meet Alex's so-called girlfriend? What was her name?
Fabulous.
Fabulous.
That was a funny story in its own. I'm not
Do you remember how she broke her ankle?
I don't want to go there. That's another story.
Alex can
That's
only say
on
that story.
YouTube, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. My word. It's on the jumper punch.
It's on he did his own version on the jumper punch when he came on with Harmsy, and he added a few extra details there. So he's a funny man.
That was a true story.
Yeah, a funny man.
Tell me what those years were like leading up to the 86, 87 years with Wolsey. What was it like in 83, 84, 85? I mean, you had some good years still. You were only mid-20s.
Yeah, but I was frustrated. I go from winning the best and fairest in 82 to 83. I've got this injury that I can't. No one can find out what it is.
Yep.
And I'd be running along that grass there and just bang, dropped to the ground, and it was. And I went and
What was it like? Where was this?
In the ankle.
Oh.
In the ankle, I'd go to. You could feel the wear and tear of your calf diminishing and you're losing your balance because you haven't got the power, you haven't got the drive in your leg. Anyway, so I had an operation. Doctor opened me up and said, you're full of arthritis. I said, how can I be full of arthritis in that period of time, which is, I won't go on with this, but I've got my thoughts about this, but anyway, sewed me back up, same thing. Got ready to go, training, bang, 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 same thing. I was getting cortisone every game to get about 10 minutes of free pain. And I was getting frustrated, I was getting reported, I was getting dropped because I wasn't up to it. Had another operation. Same ankle, same doctor, same scenario. Anyway, I was about to give it up because I'd lost a lot of the muscle tone from my calf even up to the backside, and you haven't got your balance right, And nothing's worse than that when you can't play it. When you played at the best and you can't get there, back to mugs are running around you and shouldn't be getting around you.
And your game was running.
You're getting reported of clipping a bloke because you can't catch him. It's all turned over. Anyway, I was about to retire, and I went third operation. Went to another doctor. He operated on for a number of hours. And pulled just about to shut me, clean it up, and pulled back the knuckle of the ankle, and 4 pips out of a lemon seed shot out of my ankle.
Really?
He said, I got no idea you're getting around like this, he said. It's unbelievable, because I'm getting stuck back in under the knuckle. He said, I've never seen anything like a Dr. Ian Henderson who's passed away. He said, I don't even know how you're walking around the street. I'd be walking down the street to the restaurant and just go bang.
Wow.
So did he fix you up?
Yeah, he fixed it up, but it took another 18 months to get your muscle tone back and your balance right, which never came back because to the extent it did. But no, I got back. I was playing good footy. When I was retired, I was playing good footy. I
was just going to say, because even though you sort of lost a bit of favour under Wolsey and he basically got you to captain the reserves premiership in 87, you came back in 1988 and you found yourself a new role in the back line as a back pocket, and you played really well that year, really well. 1988, you were in your late 20s.
We used to do the kick-ins.
Yeah, I remember that very
used
well.
to hit them too nicely.
Told Reece to wear gloves.
You had a bit more salt in your hair than pepper back then.
I said to Reece, wear gloves today. I said they're going to burn you when you come here.
And by the way, we must ask you, before we get into the latter bit of your career, you were often detected during games at Princes Park when they had all the scores up on the scoreboard, and they had the race results, Flemington races, whatever the quaddie. Did you ever sort of get a bit of paper and pencil out of your pocket, out of the back of your sock or something, and check the results?
I didn't need that. I had the runner. I had the runner.
The Bobby Lowry?
Yeah, put the bets on.
He put the used to show the last.
One of the funniest ones at Waverley, because they used to show the last leg of the quaddie on the big screen, and we're playing Hawthorn or someone, and we're just in front, and Parkin's going off his head with his vein going to blow out any minute, and we're over here. You're not even watching. I was laughing at the quaddie.
So you got the quaddie?
Yeah, we got the quaddie. Yeah. Went out and kicked their ass in the last quarter.
And you won the game.
He nearly blew a vein.
It's fantastic.
So who was in the quaddie with you? Would have been Reece, surely.
Yeah, Reece.
You were good mates with Reece.
Yeah, Reece and I.
Still are today.
Yeah, of course we are, the best mate. But the fun was, we had a bit of fun on the punt.
But that would have been a bit of fun, even just as a sort of an aside.
I'll tell you, it's in his book. I'll tell you a quick one. I don't know if you know this one. Glenn James is the umpire, right?
Yes.
And he's Glenn, if you're listening, mate, he's not too well. He hasn't been too well. I hope you're well, buddy, but I'm going to come and see you.
Okay.
We're playing Essendon at Carlton one day, and I was going to have a big bet with a bloke called Normie Weymouth, who was a jockey.
Yes, Norm Weymouth was a jockey.
Very, very good judge, Normie. He gave him a little bit of help too.
Yep.
Anyway, there's only one phone in the room, and that's the doctor's room. I said to Lowry, Bobby Lowry, I said, find out that doctor's number. I said, Normie's got a ring in here at 2:15. Tell me whether it's bet or not. So he got up and told the doctor some bullshit story that someone's crook and going to ring in. And so anyway, so we got the number. Normie rings in. Well, just about to bounce a ball. Bobby ring. You know, Crackers is doing the big run up with his knees, and Percy's going, not the knees. not the Crackers, not the knees today. Anyway, next thing, Bobby said, Normie said, bet right. I said, I have 2,000 each way. And Crackers goes, 2,000 each way? I said, I've got a good tip, Crackers. He said, can I get on? I said, how much you want? He said, 200 each way. I said, you're on. Next thing, Glenn James said, "Could I get on?" I said, "Oh, hang on, Glenn. What do you want?" He said, "Can I get 100 each way?" I said, "You're on." As sure as I'm telling you now, it's in his book. Anyway,
I'd take it that these guys actually paid you for these bets.
Well, they didn't have to. I had to pay them.
You had to pay them. The horse got up.
Anyway, it's going on. The game's going on anyway. The scores go up on the scoreboard. The numbers that go up the scoreboard. And instead of 7-5-2, it was 5-7-2. Cracker said, "Oh, we've ran second. We've been beaten." I said, "No, we haven't, Crackers. They've got the wrong numbers on the scoreboard." The horse won. I said, "We've got the money, Crackers." "Oh, how much did I win?" I said, "How do I know? I'm out here." Anyway, I calculated out roughly that Glenn James had won 700, Crackers had won nearly 1,500, and I'd won a lot more than that. Anyway, going down the side of the ground, and next thing this Essendon bloke's gone, I won't name him, he's gone whack, and I just ducked it. He went just got me on the touch of the nose. I went whack, hit him right in the chin. He's out. bit of trickle coming out of here. And Glenn James went to blow the whistle. I said, "Blow the whistle. You're not getting paid." He said, "Play on."
Play on.
Play on. That's true as I tell you.
Oh dear me.
That's it. You can't even talk to the umpires these days. That's it.
It's in his book, Glenn James.
If you blow the whistle, you won't get play on.
What a wonderful man.
Oh, geez, you must have some stories.
Good, yeah, definitely.
But I guess in the last couple of years, you struggled again with injury, and you would have seen the end of Wolsey and the introduction of Alex Jeslenko, your great mate again.
Jezza brought me back to play against Essendon. I've been on a fairly drinking campaign, Rob.
For the last 15 years.
No, because I was going to resign. And Jesus got a message to me, you're playing. I said, geez, no, how am I going to play?
What was this, 89?
89.
Ran about 10 rounds into
90, wasn't it? No, 89.
No, 89 is when Walls got sacked and Jezza came back.
Yeah, anyway, he's played me and I said, geez, I better get my sign and sober up. So Reece come down the pub, he said, he's fair Nick if you're going to play your mate Jezza. So played me against Essendon. No, odds on. Reece and I went out, I think I kicked 4.
Yep.
I kicked one, I don't know where it went, and I said, where'd that go? He said, it went through. There's a good photo of Reece and I, he's grabbed me by the neck or something, I grabbed him by the neck or something.
Yeah.
And we got up and beat us and we kicked their ass.
Yeah.
And I must admit, I think would have been over 0.05 if they'd have put it. That's the only day I've ever done.
I think that was the game when former Essendon player Glenn Hawker, who transferred to Carlton in his last couple of years, I think that was the game that we beat when Hawker was playing for us.
Beautiful bloke.
But and look, I guess for someone who played between 1976 and 1990, that's 15 years. Yep. You know, you potentially would be looking at being a 300-game player, but in the end you only played 164. That's only averaging about 11 games a season. It's about half the available games.
I didn't like playing bad ones.
Yeah, that's right. We had a few leagues.
But you played some great years, of course.
No, I should have played a lot more, but through injury and disciplinary actions.
Yes. Do you remember how many games you suspended?
No, I don't. No, but then by the club or by the AFL.
Oh, well. Either. You didn't catch up to Reece.
No, but I think I would have got... the club gave me more disciplinary action. I got dropped a number of times for not turning up to training.
Oh, right. Wasn't your favourite thing to do during the week?
I was just straight other business.
Oh, right, okay, fair enough.
Are you all, I still think from those days, you're all still good mates, aren't you?
Yeah.
That's the thing I noticed too with the guys that played especially in the late 70s and early 80s, that era there, where you got 3 premierships in 4 years. You guys are closer than any other group of players in the history of Carlton, in my view.
Yeah.
Yourself and, all of the Mosquito fleet, Kenny Sheldon, Wayne Harms, Marku, Johnston, McClure, Fitzpatrick. You guys just a fantastic unit.
Yeah, look, we've been lucky. We had a good side. We had good, and we had good committees.
Yep.
We had fun, but we knew when to turn it off and had to be serious. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's you talk of institute, you talk about places to be. Carlton were the envy in our day to be. Everyone wanted to be a Carlton. And we weren't on big money.
No.
All they used to say the brown paper bags and all that. We're probably on less than anyone. I remember Melbourne. I remember our best and fairest. A bloke got we didn't even get a trophy there one year, so I invented a trophy.
Really?
I started giving a trophy from CUB. But no one. They got $1,200 for winning the best and fairest or something.
Unbelievable.
Melbourne got a new
Range Rover to go up to Mount Buller with.
And they ran last.
Yeah, exactly.
We weren't getting that sport there.
And of course,
I know what I'd rather be though. I'd rather be a Carlton.
That's right.
And your son Dylan, he took a few opportunities to play AFL football.
Yeah, look, he was a beautiful kick. He's a good runner.
Definitely.
He just didn't put the body on.
Yeah.
He's a beautiful kid. He's done well. He played 38. Mick Moldhouse and Robbie Wiley were fantastic to Dylan. They gave him a great opportunity. They really. With the shit that Moldhouse and I used to carry on with each other, he probably looked after him the best of anyone.
That's unreal. Yeah.
And he went up to GWS where he couldn't get right. He kept snapping his calf and still today he's going to have a run with old Ivan next couple of weeks and his calf's gone again. But he got his podcast on. He's done very well.
Yes,
he's done very well.
His beautiful wife,
Dylan and friends. Not that I got to tell people, but Dylan and friends.
His beautiful wife Justine's got the baby due mid-April.
She's been with him for many years.
Everything will be right with that.
Yeah. Well, Jimmy, you've been through a few battles in recent years, but we read with interest just recently that you've overcome a bit of a battle with the bottle, and you've been off the grog now for a couple of years.
Yeah, it's been.
What was that like for you, mate?
Well, it was hard because no one was going up there.
Yep.
Partial alcoholic,
Sure.
Well, that's the first step, isn't it?
I didn't think I was an alcoholic, because I didn't get a hang of it.
Is that sort of half of the battle is actually recognising and accepting that, hey, shit, I've got a problem?
Oh, it is. It's 80% of it, what I mean, and the other 20 is doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's once you accept it, you can do something about it.
Yeah.
Once if you wasn't playing the game,
Yeah.
it was all about me.
Yeah.
And they were coming second. Where my daughter's having a baby, I'm on the piss every day.
Yeah.
Dylan's getting phone calls left, right, and centre.
Yeah.
Your dad's on the piss. I wasn't hurting anyone but myself.
Yeah.
And the image I got, and breaking down all the work relationships I've got because I'm not turning up on time.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. Excuse, I'll do that one tomorrow.
Yeah.
That doesn't count. I don't want to see you tomorrow. You're supposed to be here today.
Yeah.
And it all just goes into a catapult and comes downhill. And then you've got to try and rein it in. Then no one wants to see you because you're unreliable.
Yeah.
Yes.
You don't get the job properly done.
Yep.
And you're not focusing properly, Look, I'll stay here and have another half a dozen beers. No one will know.
Yep.
Yeah.
But they do.
Yeah, they do.
They do.
And
you become like skillful at trying to hide it from everyone.
Yeah, tried. That doesn't work.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. They notice, but you think you're getting away.
Only when you beat yourself,
Yeah.
and you think you've done it, but everyone knows it's not jargon. You've got to just get in there and take and it's a prick of a joint. Don't get me wrong. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you just got to relax if you can. Yeah.
One step at a time.
People think it's a disease, which it is a disease, but the thing being is you've got to cop it sweet and work on it.
Yeah.
They'll guide you through it. It's not a pretty scene. It's
Sure.
It does look like a bit one side of the cuckoo's nest there for a few weeks.
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
We could get you to look like Jack Nicholson.
I've had a few of those nurse rat shit. I know. Anyway, but
I suppose you've kept your sense of humour throughout that whole time, which is good.
but you lose that when you get on the piss. I mean, you don't lose it, but it's
effective.
you're a lot sharper off it when you're off the piss.
From a long way out, you're a great player, mate, and we want to thank you very much for joining us here on the Jump Approach.
Pleasure, mate.
And you were a legend of Carlton, but now you're a legend of the Jumper Punch.
Good on you, mate.
Good on you. Thanks, brother.
Beautiful, boys. Thank you.
Go, boys.
Cemetery. I will fight, never wary. I wanna be legendary till I'm dead and buried deep within a cemetery. I will fight, never wary. I wanna be legendary.